I'm going to make this pretty short and sweet. Don't ever invite for an interview or anything old Breevy boy, to your house. Nikka, I don't know if you're listening to my shows. Don't allow him. Call the police if he comes by your house again. No, folks, I'm not worried about what Nikka has to say. I'm not worried about that at all. That is not my concern. Even with the eventful thing that he would offer her money to lie, that's not the issue here. Let me tell you something. Hello, Anthony. This guy is a bona fide stalker. He did it with me. He did it with Fazio. He did it with Jerry to go have an interview with him. He did it with Johnny Warrior. Okay, and the list goes on. This guy, there is something radically wrong with this guy. Now, if anybody is privy to finding more information about him other than what we know, on him putting up a restraining order to protect his family from something that he did that made him move to the Philippines, I think there's a lot more to this story. I think there's a lot more research that needs to be done. This guy is not right in his mind. No, there is no new events that happened here. That's not what it's all for. But I'll tell you what, I was watching a movie that made me really think, and it really had to do with the behavior of somebody who was doing some stalking. And so this guy, this is what he does. Now, I know my daughter used to talk to Nikka. I don't know if she still does. I'm going to ask my daughter, so if you still have a way of contacting Nikka, do that much for me. Contact her and tell her to keep this guy away because he's fucking nuts. So if you like Nikka, trust me, email her, call her, whatever you need to do. She doesn't want this guy hanging around her house. There's nothing normal about this guy at all. There is absolutely nothing normal about him. We have some people out here that are extremely abnormal people. They can be considered dangerous. I think there's a lot more that went on in California with our friend Breve. A lot more. A lot more that meets the eye. Be with caution. If he ever wants to do an interview with you, he's stalking you, he's stalking your place. Trust me on that. And he's done this with many people and continues to do so. He's a man that needs a lot of attention, and he's willing to do just about anything to get that attention. He involves himself in other people's business, and a lot of stuff goes on behind the scenes. I would not be surprised that Brevis was involved with the free rice little venture that went on. You can't trust this guy. I'm telling you, like your life depends on it with this guy. He is not normal. He's far from being normal. Trust me on this. This guy should not be around your house. Don't ever invite him, whether it's an interview. I don't care who you are, male or female. It don't matter. Don't involve yourself with this guy. I mean, I might know something that you don't know. I just can't prove it. Let me leave it at that. Because it wouldn't be worth saying it unless I actually had proof. So, Nikka, if you're listening to me, be aware of this guy. Don't accept any money from him. If you're that destitute, you'd always get a hold of me and Gilda. If you're that destitute for money, no problem. No problem. If he comes by your house again, call the police. That's the thing I'll tell you. Call the police. You're not dealing with a man who is in his right mind. And that goes for anybody else on here that ever plans to meet up with this guy, cavort with this guy, go out drinking with this guy, whatever. Don't deal with him. He can be proven to be very dangerous. He's got a screw loose more than one. I know his pattern. I've examined his pattern for a long time. And his little thing to go over at Nikka's. I wonder what happened after the interview. I have no way of contacting her. I lost contact with her years ago. So I really don't know. I don't know. I'm just saying, be aware of this guy. No, and in case those are thinking I'm worried about what Nikka has to say, I'm not worried about what Nikka has to say at all because nothing ever happened. And if Nikka is really having these health conditions, she's not going to give in to his money to create a false interview. That's not going to happen with her. That's not going to happen with her at all. Her concern is staying alive, not trying to get a nasty interview with Brevis. That's not what it's about. She has less concern what's going on in my life. She's more concerned what's going on in her life and her mother's life. And that creep shows up to her door, has the balls to interview her, but hopefully for something else. Then finds out that, well, wait a minute, I can't do this right now because she's having some really serious health problems that he wants to contribute to. She don't need that psychopath coming by her place. Trust me, if I had a way of contacting her, I would right now. So if my daughter's listening, if you happen to be in contact with Nikka, I suggest that you text her right away. Nothing ever went on with Nikka. Nothing went on with Nikka whatsoever. But Brevis figures if I throw her a few coins, a few bits of crumbs of bread, and make promise that I can make you a lot of money to help you out with your medical situation. Who knows? Will she give in to money? Or will she give in to reason? Will she give in to truth? Will she subject herself to worse health by getting stressed out over somebody pressuring her to do an interview about me? You got to watch with this guy. I'm just telling you right now. He is abnormal. I seen it in his eyes when I met him. I seen it in his eyes when he do his videos at the bars. Remember when Barry said, look at my eyes, there's nobody home. Well, let me tell you, it applies in this situation. You look into his eyes, and there ain't nobody home in there, man. I'll tell you right now. You don't have to believe me, but I think you guys have made your own assessment. Don't trust this guy. Don't trust him at all. He's not all there. He abandoned a woman, he got pregnant. Didn't even help with a funeral. Didn't even acknowledge that he was a father. The baby died. Did he at least help with the funeral? Probably not. This was all while he was seeing the woman he's with now that he has a baby with. All right, this is what we're dealing with. Okay? This is what we're dealing with.